Hello and happy midweek greetings from Radically Rational and RadicallyRational.com. Okay, the announcement will be made in Houston on Saturday at the Final Four, but half the spotlight will be on San Antonio as the 2023 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame class is introduced. The SA Connection, Becky Hammon, Pop, and Tony Parker, and they'll be joining NBA luminaries like Pau Gasol and Dwayne Wade, and of course, Dirk Nowitzki. This is a very, very strong class. I do want to say this about Pop. Pop is one of the 5 most fascinating people I have ever met in my life in any realm, in any endeavor. He is not flawless, but he is fascinating, and he is a man of principle, and you bet I respect that. The men's NIT final is going to include a shade of mean green. North Texas made it to the final last night by upsetting Wisconsin. Big 10-0 run there late in the game, so that's going to make my friends like Dave Barnett and Don Harris happy. And this is really interesting. Conference USA now 16-1 in the postseason. Amazing. Okay, let's all admit Thursday night football is a problem for the NFL. Let's count the ways. The matchups suck. The games suck. They're played on no rest at all. The execution is not good. Amazon Prime is all upset because they don't get any marquee matchups. Al Michaels is making fun of his own product. It's a problem. So they were thinking about using a flex schedule on Thursday night, as they frequently do now on Sundays and Mondays. The NFL tabled that idea, and I can understand why. It's a real problem to do that on a short week. It's a problem logistically, it's a problem competitively, it is a player safety issue, so I can see why that was a problem. So a couple of things. I was disappointed at the NFL owners meeting in Phoenix that they didn't take action on a couple of proposed rule changes involving kickoffs and punts that I thought had potential there. Maybe they'll be revisited, but this one really did make me mad. They declined to make roughing the passer reviewable with instant replay. That's a mistake because that became an absolute farce last year. So wearing jersey number 0 is again okay in the NFL, unless of course you're an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. And the only thing cooler than jersey number 0 is jersey number 00. And that's going to be legal too. So I like that. Deplorable Dan Snyder says he wants $6 billion for the Commanders, and apparently there are 2 different groups willing to pay that. And that's fine with me. Just get him out of football. Okay, let's draw this distinction, Mr. Pence. This is not an invitation. This is not an invitation to a dinner party. You can't simply send your regrets. Okay, this is a different deal. You have been ordered by a federal judge to testify in a felony criminal investigation. That is not optional. So here's my advice to you. Shower and shave, put on a nice suit and tie, shine your shoes, and answer the questions. Now, apparently, Pence is not going to have to answer questions about his activity on January 6th, and I'm fine with that. But he is going to have to answer questions about Trump's behavior in the run-up to Jan 6th. And he is going to have to answer the question, do you know that Donald Trump knew he did not win the election? Now, he can't invoke the 5th. The 5th is not transferable. Pence is not being investigated for anything here, okay? So you can't claim self-incrimination. And when you're being asked about Trump, you can't claim the 5th to protect him. Now, what Pence can do is simply say, I don't remember, but that would be risky and slimy even by Pence's standards. And keep in mind that he can't claim executive privilege here, not that that's going to fly anyway, because he'd already disclosed a lot of this in a book that he wrote and has been hawking. Getting a little warm in here, Donnie? All right, so gun worshipers, so predictable, they're pointing out that the 7 guns owned by the Nashville shooter were all legally purchased. That's exactly the point, morons. That's exactly the point, and this is so predictable. Now all we're hearing is the GOP saying this is a mental health problem. Duh. Hell yes, it's a mental health problem. Of course it is. No rational person would deny that. But it's also a gun problem. And no rational person would deny that either. And we're really getting tired of the worn out, deflective bullshit. And a special commendation here to a guy who got on social media yesterday and said he was worried that the Nashville shooting was going to be politicized. But then here was the source of his concern. He says he's concerned that people are going to come to the defense of the shooter and attack the brave and very competent and really efficient officers who took the shooter out. Let me ask you a question. Have you heard one person say that? Have you heard anybody take that position? So the social media observer is right that somebody is trying to politicize this. It's him. We're radically rational.